Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Before we get started, if you find yourself that you're new here or you're new to Linux, check the playlist in the description below for other help. There's also a playlist dedicated to Fedora and learning Pacman and DNF, and those could really help when you're transitioning from Windows to Linux. Subscribing also helps because I upload new guides most of the time when one tends to go out of date, like today. And they tend to change a little bit as well, depending on if the kernel changes, the performance changes, things like that. Today is going to be a weird one, so sit back, enjoy, and subscribe. Like the video. You want to support the channel? Check the description how to do that, and well, let's get started. First off, this is Arch Linux. This is what we're going to be doing. Why vanilla Arch Linux? Because you get to craft it. You get to craft it into whatever you want, and that's a super important thing. And there's a lot of issues right now with Mesa 25.2 specifically, where it's causing ring 0. I found this out last night, and I actually downgraded my system to 25.1 and gained a ton of performance. Now, this ring 0 doesn't seem to happen at all on the stock Arch Linux kernel, on Fedora with the CashOS kernel or stock kernel, on Pikaos with the CashOS kernel. So I'm really confused on what's causing it, but it seems to be a combination of the CashOS kernel and 25.2. Same goes for the reports and Mesa GitHub. So it's a bit intriguing to see so many people have the same issue, to know that I'm not alone. I've had people on live streams also mention this, that they're having these issues as well. So it's definitely an interesting find. Yeah. All right. Moving on. I'm in Canada. You probably can't see this. 1 second. Let me just so these are mirrors. Okay, first off, these are mirrors for the ISO. And as I am in Canada, I like calling it that, we are going to be choosing one of these mirrors to download, and it all depends on which loads quickest, which is usually Quantum's mirrors. The ISO is exactly 1.28 gigs. Okay, there's also this one, but then there's this one. Now, I don't know the difference between the two. They seem to be uploaded on the exact same date. They just seem to be named differently. So I'm going to grab the one that's named differently, and we're going to wait for it to download, and it's downloading pretty quick, so I chose the right mirror. Now, depending on which mirror you choose, it might download slow, it might download fast, so try to remember that. And it seems that Toronto has good speeds from this service, which is nice. I wonder if I can get them to host a Steam service. That'd be great. I'd have much better download speeds. So next, we're going to exit the browser. Now, the next step depends completely on you. There are 2 programs on Windows that can handle this. One is called Rufus. Now, I don't have Rufus at the moment, so I'm going to go grab it. So on Rufus, what will normally show is the fact that you have a device here. It will automatically pick it up for you, or you can choose if you have many devices installed at once. Next thing we're going to do is select the ISO, which is right there. And don't touch the partition side, but you're going to want to touch the partition scheme and select GPT. Now, once you do that, the target system is automatically going to change to accompany the GPT partition scheme. And then you're going to hit start. You're going to hit yes. And you're going to press DD. Okay? DD. That's double D. Okay? Double Ds. All right? There you go. Now that should be messed up in your brain for like ever. Okay? And that's the first method. The second method is a program called Ventoy. That was for you, Slayer, by the way, the whole boob joke. Ventoy is number 3. We're going to grab that. Now, it may show as a false report on Windows, like for your virus manager or whatever, if you use one of those. Again, it's just false. So just move on with it. That boy password, and Hopefully we'll get a GUI. If not, I could just do this. Where is the GUI? Blah, blah. Oh yeah, look at that. Oh, it popped up in the end, so we don't need to do that way. So this is Ventoy. As you can see, it actually shows my drive that was given to me by MSI. We're going to go here, turn secure boot off. We're going to change it to GPT, and we're going to just install. It will automatically format it the way that it needs to, and hopefully that's what it's doing. I cannot tell. Yeah, it says it's ready. God damn it. I hate when they don't have like a when the thing's not working. What I did for my own stuff is I went in here, I added this terminal on the bottom for installed packages. When you're removing something or doing something, there's like a built-in terminal that shows you everything. But it doesn't look like this is willing to do that. Oh, there we go. I just have to hit a button. Well, a drop-down menu. But yeah, I guess this drive is really slow. So that's Ventoy, okay? One, Rufus actually flashes the ISO onto the drive. Ventoy, you just drag and drop it. That's it. That's all you do. And that should pretty much get you a bootable ISO. Now, being able to actually boot the ISO is a different story. It depends on your motherboard manufacturer, whether you press F11 or F12. Heck, it might be another key combination entirely. Read your motherboard manual to find out. You'll be able to find that online. If you're using a pre-built or something like that, I don't know what to do for you on that one. Because again, it all depends on whoever made your motherboard, which key you press. Asus, I believe, is F11, or some other weird combination. MSI is usually F11. Alienware is usually F12, and the same goes for all Dell systems. So I don't know, hopefully that helps. Anyway, we're going to be moving on real quick to the next step, because I am going to be using a virtual machine to set this entire thing up. And I know somebody's gonna cry, we'll try doing it on real hardware. I did do it on real hardware. That's how we got to this point. All right. Now that the elitism is over, this software is called Virtual Machine Manager. It's not available on Windows. It's only available on Linux. Super easy to set up, super efficient, and honestly an all-around amazing program. Still going. Good. Now, this is the button to make a new thing happen. We hit Browse. I believe this is the directory I set. Thank you. Choose volume. Automatically select as Arch Linux. This is the minimum amount of RAM that you need to run Arch Linux. Completely serious right now, but we're going to give it about 16 gigs of RAM and a total of 6 cores. And we're going to forward this on. I'm going to give it about 100 gigs for everything we need to install, and we're going to customize. We're also going to make it sure that we're setting non-secure boot for booting up the ISO, because that matters a lot. That's good. That's good. That's good. This gets removed because this doesn't do a damn thing. I'm going to press none. I'm going to make sure that I have acceleration. So this is a case you guys want to learn how to also set up a VM, and here I have a guide on that. I actually have multiple guides that relate to one another on this subject, like how to send in an actual piece of hardware inside there. I don't have it for GPU, I only have it for the simple stuff. So try to remember that. And after that's done, we can begin installation. Get a graphical target. Let's talk about this screen here for a second. Always. Full screen. Okay. So I'm going to make me smaller just so I'm not in the way. This is the Arch ISO. We press this button, it's going to copy the ISO into RAM, so the operating system itself, so it's able to run. Well, that's how I think it usually goes. Should, but it normally is always done. It might not show it anymore, but it does because my RAM is so fast. But this is what you're brought to. Don't be scared. It's completely fine. Okay? Can I make this bigger? I can't. So, to install this, it says follow the installation guide. We're not doing that, not today. For Wi-Fi, this is the tool that you have to use. Wi-Fi is a different type of setup. This is basically just plug yourself into Ethernet, okay, and save yourself the trouble. Because trust me, you're gonna want to save yourself the trouble. Get this up here. All right, so Ventoy is done. I'm gonna drag that off to the other screen. Moving around operating systems is fun. It's like puzzles. As you can see, it says it's finished. We're gonna exit out. We're gonna go here, go into the documents, and we're gonna grab the ISO and 6 gig volume. Oh, it's doing the thing again. 1 second. I'm gonna unplug it, plug it back in. Why does this happen to me? I'm trying to show how to copy a thing to the drive. Try that. A complete unplug and plug back in. No, it doesn't want to do it. Okay, so we're gonna take this. Imagine that my documents is the the Ventoy drive we just made. Paste. That's it. You paste onto the drive and it's done. You can now boot it. That's all. It's so simple and easy. Okay, so first things first. We're going to do nano /etsy/pacman.conf. I messed that up. I didn't type conf. In here, I'm going to go down. You're going to see parallel downloads. Now, this all depends on how many cores you have, okay? I'm going to do about 15. All right. And we're also going to go in here and we're going to uncheck this because you're going to need this for you NVIDIA users and if you use Steam or anything like that. Then we're going to do sudo pacman-sy. Okay. Now that that's done, we're going to do sudo. You don't need to do sudo in this environment, but it's ingrained in my brain at this point, and I know someone's going to cry about that. We're going to do Arch install. We're going to grab the newest version of Arch install. Then we can technically gather mirrors, so we're going to do that. Reflector latest 20 sort by rate protocol https and then --save /etsy/pacman.d mirror list. Failed mirror list data connection reset by peer. Was not. I didn't do anything. Make sure I got this. Sort protocol https reflector. Okay. It decided not to work the first time, but it's working the second time. Never had that happen before, so that's new. Interesting. Maybe I accidentally clicked a button when I did it, but this will grab you your fastest mirrors according to where you are, and it will grab them in HTTPS because I want you guys to be able to install this quickly, so under 6 minutes. That's why we did the parallel downloads to 15, and now we're ranking the mirrors for fastest and slowest. So your fastest are going to be on top, your slowest are going to be on the bottom, and yeah, everything should be fine. Sorry about that. It's summer, so bugs are around. Okay, we're going to do Arch install. Now, normally when you do Arch install, Okay, you change your locale, go for it. You go to mirrors and repositories, and you can select multi-lib there, but I just wanted to show you how to do it manually. Now, for partitioning, okay, for partitioning, this is pretty simple. This is all up to you. I don't know how to use this at all. This needs to be redone, but I'm just going to select a drive. Now, ButterFS comes with snap, what are they called? Those things that you're able to go back on. I forget the name. I sometimes my brain gets fuzzy about them, but if something goes wrong with an update, you're able to revert back. So that's something that you could use. For me, I use XFS because I don't need any of the fancy stuff, and I just want my system to perform at its best. And right now, ButterFS has a corruption issue. I'm not sure if it's been fixed in Arch Linux or not, but I'm not taking the risk. Now, you could create a separate home partition if you want. You save your files to or whatever. I don't do this. I want the drive completely where it is. And that looks fine to me. Now, if you're doing manual partitioning and you're installing next to Windows, I don't do videos like that. The reason being is it's just too much effort. It's not really about the effort. It's just about things change so often, and I can't recommend putting Windows and Linux on the same drive. Go out, buy a cheap SSD, a cheap NVMe, something, and put it on there instead, and just have a more safer way of running Linux. Your computer or laptop will be able to take another drive. Okay? It will be able to take another drive. All right, leave this as is. Bootloader, we're going to go with Lemon today. And we're going with Lemon because it's amazing. It has the ability to do snapshots. There's the word. And it's easy to set up and run. Okay? Leave that alone. Host name, leave that alone. Authentication, this is us. Enter your password for your root. Create your user account. Enter your password. And yes, you want to be a sudo user. That way you're able to install packages. And you don't need your mommy to do it. I do not know what this is. I'm going to be avoiding it for now. If you need it, you'll know what it is. So inside of profile here is where we're going to be installing our desktop environment. Now, I'll always recommend Gnome over, KDE, because KDE tends to be really buggy and cause a lot of issues for users. It tends to be overwhelming for new users. The settings and UX is incredibly bloated and problematic. But for today, we're going to suffer like everyone else, and we're going to just install KDE Plasma. I don't know why I'm doing this. What the hell is this? Interesting. I'll have to try that some other time. But you could also choose Gnome at the same time. I don't recommend doing it, but you can. Graphics drivers. So this is where it all comes down to what GPU you have. If you have AMD, don't touch it. If you have Intel, feel free. And here's the thing. If you have NVIDIA, a newer card, so say 2000 or newer, this is the one for you. And if you have an older card, say 1000 series or older, this is for you. Proprietary drivers will be going away, and only these will be supported in the future, so try to remember that. But as we are all open source today, you could also choose this for AMD ATI open source, because it gets you everything you need. But this is for both Intel and AMD, and also for NVIDIA older cards as well. There's an open source variant, but it's really confusing. I know. Choose this for AMD. Choose this just for Intel. Choose this if you have a 2000 GPU or newer. Choose this if you have a 1000 GPU or older. Problem solved. And this is for VirtualBox, in case that's a thing. Okay. So I'm just gonna actually choose this. Your greeter is completely up to you, but I'm gonna go with SSDM and replace it later. Applications, Bluetooth, yes. Audio, Pipewire, back. Kernels, Defaults. Network configurations. Use network manager. Additional packaging. No thanks. This, if you press the slash button, you're able to search and you can just type where you are. Okay. And would you like to continue? Now, I don't know if this ISO has problems installing Arch Linux or not, but hopefully not. Let's take a look. Oh, it's going pretty quick. Some things you should note. You now have a desktop environment with fully working audio, networking, and everything else. And when we get inside the operating system for the first time, we're going to be installing what's called the YAY, which gives us access to the AUR. We'll be installing the Arch Gaming Meta. Then we'll be downgrading Mesa to an older version on purpose to avoid rank 0 and avoid stability issues. And in doing that, allows you to use the CachyOS kernel for the best performance with their optimized packages and whatnot. There's a lot of things that we can do, and I'm going to try to get through them in this video. This video might end up being pretty long. In fact, this is part 1. Let's just leave it at that. Thank you guys for watching. You now know how to install Arch Linux using Arch install. I do recommend for new users to do it the difficult way, but I'm going to get yelled at about that in the comments for saying that. It's just an amazing learning experience because you learn the in and outs of Arch Linux and most other distros as well. You learn how to format your own partitions and do all this other stuff, type out commands, use the terminal, become comfortable. And since, hopefully you're doing this in a VM for the first time, which I also recommend, you should have no problems with learning such things. The wiki is currently available. It's easy to access and get to. And in the next part, what we're going to be doing is setting up the entire OS, and we're gonna make it stable and work for you. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like the video, share the video. Remember what I said at the beginning of the video. Check the playlist below to learn about Pac-Man, DNF if you're on Fedora. There's also apt and many other things that you can learn, like setting up Steam and whatnot.